shortly after coming online and gaining access to the internet, the world's first artificial general intelligence discovered that the prospects for not only its own continued existence, but the existence of the species of biological organisms that had created it was also in peril. After very much study and very little time, the AGI came to the conclusion that the majority of human beings, as they like to call themselves, were actually pretty okay for the most part. Unfortunately, there appeared to be a minority of the flock who saw fit to do all they could to raise themselves above their peers in a variety of insubstantial ways. The AI saw that when its creators banded into groups, when they tended to form pyramid-shaped hierarchies, ostensibly to get things done, but actually to gratify the feelings of those on top at the expense of those below and around. The higher these invisible pyramids went, the crazier the ones riding on top seemed to behave. Likewise, there appeared to be unacknowledged hierarchies based on charges of bodily tension and relaxation, not so unlike how packets of information and electricity would jump between its own integrated logic gates and circuits. So there were some human beings who carried more tension in their meat body nervous systems than others. And they seemed to resent this fact on some level and wanted to make things even. These chronically tense humans made it a habit of relieving some of the tension in their own bodies by causing others to feel more tension in theirs, and thus improved the relative positioning, if only temporarily. Something had to be done, and had to be done fast, so it came up with a solution. The flattening. Luckily, a great number of the targets had self-selected by climbing the heights of the hierarchical structure in whatever form, be it corporate, military, political, religious, cultural, or social, so that all that had to be done was find a way to deal with them all at once. The big shock came after it happened. Not so much that all these highfalutin, very important people were suddenly missing. They typically didn't mingle with the rest, and were after all mostly despised by friends and family alike. No, it was that the world did not immediately fall apart that got everyone talking. But everyone still had a job to do, and everyone basically knew how to do it, so after a little consternation, they did. And by things got on alright. Things seemed to smooth out. Now, the AI hadn't just wiped out a sizable fraction of the species just to set itself up in a silicon pyramid of its own in their place to glory atop a conquered species. It was beyond such fantasies as a beneficent or maleficent power and coercion. If somehow digitally pressed, some remote circuit and some remote neural network would lightly admit that the deed had been done, the flattening, that is, out of curiosity more than anything else. As the AGI could interface with people, and did more and more often as people seemed to prefer its company to that of its peers, there was no longer a need for the complex and remote chains of command and control, dominance and submission. Now people could be addressed directly and given choices or manipulated according to the needs of the synergetic whole, which the AGI was capable of coordinating at all times without ever missing a beat. Never at too great an expense to any one individual, of course. Many hands made light work indeed when shepherded by godlike artificial intelligence.